Thank you, Mr. President. Over the past week, we've put money directly in the pockets of the families of 60 million American children. In Ohio, 2.1 million children, their families got hundreds of dollars each in tax cuts, money to help them keep up with the cost of raising a family, money they'll spend in the local economy. Mr. President, you know this, the largest tax cut for working families in American history ever. Stories have poured into our office from across Ohio. You're hearing those in Hawaii, all from parents who worked hard to make ends meet. They now have a little bit extra of their own money back to spend on groceries and child care and medical bills and school supplies. These tax cuts, we care about families. A lot of talk in this body about we care about families. Well, if you care about families, this is all about empowering families. Families decide how to spend these dollars. Mitch McConnell doesn't decide, Joe Biden doesn't decide, Brian Schatz doesn't decide, I don't decide how we spend these dollars. Families decide. It's dollars they've earned working hard to provide for their family. It's hard work raising children and to how they've raised their kids. Listen to I think all of us are hearing these stories. Some on our website, some of us in town halls, we're hearing these stories. And let me just briefly tell just a handful of them. Rob from Copley, Ohio, said he's going to spend it on bills and necessities, especially necessities for my kids. Tracy said she's going to use it to pay for my children's sports fees. One mother said, my 8-year-old was able to attend a coding camp this week for the first time. She was just thrilled. We know how expensive health care is. We know how medical bills and copays and premiums eat away at families' budgets. So many parents have talked about how this will help them afford health care expenses. Leanne from Akron is going to be able to afford my daughter's medical bills. Haley said she'll use the tax cut to pay for speech therapy for her child. Susan said it will allow her to pay for my child's dyslexia tutoring. Jen said ours will be going straight, gotta love this one, ours will be going straight to the orthodontist each month. Brittany wrote that this tax cut came at a great time. She said, my son got sick with pneumonia this week. It led to an urgent care visit, breathing treatment, chest x-rays, a lot of medicine. So our payment will go to an emergency medical bills, make sure our son can thrive, has the medicine he needs. This money, another benefit that my colleagues, you may remember, Mr. President, that there were 2 votes on the child tax credit. First, an amendment to take it out. Every Republican voted to take it out. And then an amendment to pass the bill on March 6th at about this time of day, and every Republican voted against it. I let them, I know it's all about tax cuts for rich people for them, but we can get to that later. But we know another benefit of this is this is money spent in communities. I don't think I'm not getting any notes from parents saying, thank you, Senator Brown, for this child tax credit you've been working on for a decade. I'm going to put more money in my Swiss bank account. Nobody's saying that. We've gotten so many stories already how this money supports the economy and supports jobs. Katie from Brecksville, month 1, she's using it for a much-needed family vacation. Month 2, she's using it for school supplies. That supports hotel jobs and restaurant jobs and retail jobs. Lindsay said she's using it for back-to-school clothes. Again, supporting local retailers. Brittany from Butler said we'll be able to put new windows in the kids' bedrooms that will keep them cooler in the winter and in the summer and warmer in the winter. Sounds like work for a local handyman or woman or a window business. Lisa said she's spending it on diapers and school supplies. We'll put a little into starting a 529 college fund. Think about that. These families are struggling. They're going to start, I don't know for sure, but it sounds like Lisa may have a couple of children. So she gets this, they're little, so she's going to get $300 per child, so she gets $600 July 15th. She'll get $600 August 15th. She'll get $600 September 15th. She'll get $600 October 15th and November 15th. And she's decided she can now afford a few things she couldn't afford, but she's going to maybe put $100 of that every month into a 529 college fund. So her child will be, the whole idea of infrastructure is building a base, a foundation to launch children into better lifestyles, to launch children into a more productive life, to give kids opportunity. That's what this does. That's what the child tax credit does. And it's almost everybody. 92% of Ohio's kids' families are getting a tax cut every single month. So many parents mention the cost of child care. So often, over and over, we hear how this will allow parents to afford the child care that allows them to go to work. Courtney, a mother, wrote her tax cut already more than half, slightly more than half the cost of part-time daycare tuition per month here in Athens and down in Southeast Ohio. She said, it's appreciated so much, the help getting my child back into child care and keeping my husband and me in the workforce. So it comes back to one question, Mr. President. I think you know this. Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on in these fights? Are you on the side of these parents who work hard every day for their families? At a Dignity of Work roundtable in our Senate Banking Committee, Mr. President, a woman from West Virginia said, you know, the word working and poor shouldn't be in the same sentence. The word working and poor shouldn't be in the same sentence. These are families that are working really hard. Give them a little bit of a break so they can rise above the poverty line, so they can afford some things to launch their children into more productive lives. So are you on the side of these parents who work every day? Or are my colleagues going to raise these families' taxes at the end of the year? Because this expires next year if we don't continue it. And I haven't seen any help yet on their side wanting to continue. I'm still hopeful. We remember what happened in 2017. Mr. President, you remember this. In 2017, you could walk out this door pretty much any time of day, and you could look down the hall in 2017, and you could see lobbyists lined up outside of Mitch McConnell's office, all well-dressed, all really, really well paid, all hat in hand, some literally, some figuratively, saying, Senator McConnell, we need this additional tax break. And you know what? We spent $1.5 trillion on that tax cut. They don't want to spend $100 billion a year on these children. We spent $100 billion is, I should do the math really quick, about 8% of 1.5 trillion, something like that. I'm not doing 6%. So they'll do 1.5 trillion in tax cuts. 70% of it went to the richest people in the country, yet they don't want to do tax cuts for children that elicit these stories. I don't recall getting on my website stories, you know, thank you, Senator Brown, even though I voted against it, thank you for that big tax cut back in 2017. I could buy another yacht, thank you. Or I get to go to Europe again, thank you. We don't hear those stories. Here's the stories you hear about these children that need that tax cut. So you remember when they all lined up outside of our colleague Senator McConnell's office. You remember that tax cut. They promised it would trickle down to everyone else, and then it would create all this prosperity. Well, we know it didn't happen. They kept the money for themselves, no shock there. Corporations turned around, spent that money on shocking stock buybacks for their executives. They ended up always in the pockets of their executives. Now this year, without a single vote from Republicans in Congress, we passed tax cuts for everyone else. Pretty simple contrast. Tax cuts for billionaires and corporations. Thank you very much, as they line up down the hall. Or do you want tax cuts for working families? Every single month, we show parents and workers, every single month, these checks are coming. $300 per child if your child is from newborn to 5, $250 a month if your child's from 6 to 17. Every single month, you show we're on your side. We're putting more of your own money back into your pockets. Mr. President, I know you join in this. We will not stop fighting to make sure parents' hard work pays off. We will not stop. We will deliver on this.
The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin.